Today's video is going to be about the angle addition postulate. So the angle addition postulate just says that if D is in the interior of angle ABC, so that if D is inside of this angle, then the measure of angle ABD plus the measure of angle DBC equals the measure of angle ABC. So it is saying the measure of this angle plus the measure of this angle equals the measure of the whole angle. Example number 1. If the measure of angle ABD is 48 degrees. So ABD is 48 degrees. And the measure of angle DBC is 78 degrees. Find the measure of ABC. The angle addition postulate says this angle plus this angle equals the whole angle. So we are going to say 48 plus 78 equals 126 degrees. And that is our answer. That is how much angle ABC measures. Then we are going to erase this and look at number 2. If the measure of angle DBC is 74 degrees, and the measure of angle ABC, so the whole thing, is 119, then find the measure of angle ABD. So what this means is that 74 plus x equals 119. Or we could say 119 minus 74 equals the value of our missing angle, which is going to be 45 degrees. Number 3, if the measure of angle PQR is 141 degrees, find each measure. So PQR is the entire angle. So I'm going to write on the outside that whole thing is 141 degrees. Now, we are not talking about that part. We're talking about this part, but I don't want to confuse us by writing it on the inside. All right. So the first thing we want to find is x. The angle addition postulate tells us that this inside angle plus this inside angle equals the whole angle. So we're just going to write an equation that says just that. 13x plus 4 plus 10x minus 1 equals 141. So inside angle plus inside angle equals outside angle. Or little angle plus little angle equals big angle. However you want to think about it. Then we're going to combine like terms and simplify our equation. So 13x plus 10x is 23x. 4 plus negative 1 is positive 3 equals 141. 23x equals 138. And x equals 6. So over here, we will put 6. Then it wants us to find PQS. PQS is this angle represented by that equation. So we're just going to plug x into that equation. So 13 times 6 plus 4. That's going to give us 82 degrees. Oops, should have written it up here too. All right, and then we want to find SQR. So that is our 10x minus 1 angle. So we will do 10 times 6 minus 1. That's going to equal 59. So this angle is 59 degrees. Number 4, if the measure of angle DEF is 7x plus 4, I like to label these as I go. So DEF is the whole angle. It's the outside angle. So I'm going to write 7x plus 4 on the outside. Then the measure of angle DEG is 5x plus 1. So DEG is here. I'm going to put 5x plus 1. And then GEF is 23 degrees. So 23 degrees. Find each measure. So the first thing we're going to find is x, and we always are going to have to make a relationship between these values so that we can write an equation that will let us solve for x. And as always with this the angle addition postulate, the inside angle plus the inside angle equals the whole angle. So we're going to have 5x plus 1 plus 23 equals 7x plus 4. Part of the reason it's important to label these is because a lot of times you're going to look at this problem and you're just going to pick out little angle plus little angle equals big angle. But in reality, 7x plus 4 is the big angle. So we're going to have 5x plus 24 equals 7x plus 4. I want to subtract the 5x, so we'll get 24 equals 2x plus 4. Subtract the 4, 20 equals 2x, and finally 10 is equal to x. So over here, we now know that x equals 10. Then we want to find the measure of angle DEG. So DEG is 5x plus 1. So we have 5 times 10 plus 1, which is going to equal 51, making angle DEG 51 degrees. Angle DEF is our big angle. It is 7x plus 4. So 7 times 10 plus 4 is going to give us 74, making angle DEF 74 degrees. Number 5, if the measure of JKM is 43 degrees, so that goes here, and MKL is 8x minus 20, so that'll go here. And JKL is 10x minus 11, so I'll put that on the outside to remind us that that's the whole measurement. Find each measure. So first, we're always going to have to find x. So we're going to have 43 plus 8x minus 20 equals 10x minus 11. So over here, these are like terms. 43 minus 20 is going to give us 23 plus 8x equals 10x minus 11. Going to subtract the 8x, so we'll have 23 equals 2x minus 11. Add the 11, so 34 equals 2x. And finally, divide by 2 to get 17 equals x. That goes here. Now, MKL is this equation, 8x minus 20. So we're going to have 8 times 17 minus 20, which is going to equal 116, making the measure of angle MKL 116 degrees. JKL is the 10x minus 11 equation. So 10 times 17 minus 11 is going to give us 159. So that makes this angle measure 159 degrees. Angle DEF is a straight angle. Straight angles measure 180 degrees. Angle DEG is 23x minus 3, so that goes here. And angle GEF is 12x plus 8. Find each measure. So again, we'll start with x. 23x minus 3 plus 12x plus 8 equals 180. So 23x and 12x, negative 3 and 8. We are going to get 35x plus 5 equals 180. 35x equals 175. And x equals 5. The measure of angle DEG is this 23x minus 3. So 23, 5 minus 3 gives us 112. So the measure of this angle is 112 degrees. Angle GEF is 12x plus 8. So 12 times 5 plus 8. That's going to give us 68. So this angle is 68 degrees. And finally, angle DEF, it's a straight angle. We don't have to do any calculations because we know that it is 180 degrees. Number 7, if the measure of angle TUW is 5x plus 3, WUV is 10x minus 5, and TUV, the whole angle, is 17x minus 16. Find each measure. So we will start by doing small angle plus small angle equals big angle. So 5x plus 3 plus 10x minus 5 equals 17x minus 16. So 5x and 10x gives us 15x. Positive 3 minus 5 is negative 2 equals 17x minus 16. I'm going to subtract the 15x, so that gives us negative 2 equals 2x minus 16. add the 16, 14 equals 2x, divide by 2 to get 7 equals x. Then we're going to find TUW. TUW is the 5x plus 3. So 5 times 7 plus 3, that's going to give us 38. So that angle is 38 degrees. Angle WUV is 10x minus 5. So 10 times 7 minus 5 is going to give us 65. That means this angle measures 65 degrees. Angle TUV is represented by 17x minus 16. So 17 times 7 minus 16 gives us 103. So that angle is 103 degrees. If the measure of angle ECD is 6 less than 5 times the measure of BCE and the measure of BCD is 162, then find each measure. So this says that ECD is, that means that ECD equals, and it's going to equal some equation. And it's 5 times this angle. So the angle that is in the equation description, that's going to be x. So BCE, we're going to call that x. And then ECD, this angle, is 6 less than, so that means something minus 6, 5 times this measure that we don't know. So 5 times x. So we have x and then 5x minus 6. And the entire thing, BCD, is 162 degrees. So we don't have to find x to, based on this equation, but if we look, angle BCE is x, and we do have to find the measure of BCE. So we're going to have 5x minus 6 plus x equals 162. So 6x minus 6 equals 162. 6x equals 156. And so x is going to equal 26. So angle BCE is 26 degrees. And honestly, we could plug x into the 5x minus 6, but we can also say that 162 minus this number is going to give us this angle. So we can do 162 minus 26 to get 136, which is the measure of angle ECD. Number 9, if the measure of angle ABF is 6x plus 26, so before I go any further, I'm going to look at what letters this uses. So we have A, B, well, let's mark them over here. So we use A, we use B. There's no C in our whole equation. There's no D, but there is an E and an F. So we use E and F. So we do not need C and D in this equation. So I'm going to redraw this picture with only A, B, E, and F as part of it. Okay, so it's not exactly right, but it's close enough. And this just keeps you from having too much information and thinking too hard about stuff that you don't need to worry about in a specific problem. So ABF is 6x plus 26. EBF is 2x minus 9. And ABE, so the whole angle, is 11x minus 31. So it wants us to find, at the end of the day, angle ABF. But before we can do that, we have to find x, because we can't find any of these without knowing what x is. So we're going to say 6x plus 26 plus 2x minus 9 equals 11x minus 31. So 6x plus 2x is 8x. 26 minus 9 is 17 equals 11x minus 31. I want to subtract the 8x, so we'll get 17 equals 3x minus 31. Add the 31 to get 48 equals 3x. And finally, 16 equals x. Now, this is not our answer. We are supposed to find the measure of angle ABF. So ABF is 6x plus 26. So we will just substitute 16 in for x to get the angle ABF is equal to 122 degrees. So our answer, measure angle ABF equals 122 degrees. And finally, our last problem, this says, it talks about BD. It has CBE. It talks about BC. It talks about BA. Talks about CBD and DBE. But it has no mention of F. So I'm going to redraw this picture with no F because we just don't need that part. All right. So I've drawn a new picture that only has the pieces we need. And I'm going to take a piece at a time and note that on the diagram. So BD bisects CBE. So if BD bisects that, that means that these two angles are congruent to each other, right? Bisectors divide things into two equal parts. All right, so we put that on our picture. BC is perpendicular to BA. So BC is perpendicular to BA. That means that this is a 90-degree angle. All right, we've put that on our picture. Measure of angle CBD is 3x plus 25. 3x plus 25. Put that on our picture. The measure of angle DBE is 7x minus 19. We put that on our picture. Finally, it wants us to find the measure of angle ABD. So we are looking for the measure of this angle. So you can probably assume in almost every problem that you're going to have to find x before you can do anything else. But to find angle ABD, first of all, we're always talking about the smaller side of the angle, and it's made up of these two angles. Well, this angle is 90 degrees. We know that because of the box. This angle is this equation, which we cannot figure out until we know what x is. So we have seen that when we bisect an angle, these two are equal to each other. So we can actually just set those equations equal to each other. So 3x plus 25 equals 7x minus 19. And now we can solve for x. I'll subtract the 3x to get 25 equals 4x minus 19. Add the 19 to get 44 equals 4x. Divide by 4 to get 11 equals x. Now, once we know what x equals, again, we said this part of the angle is 90 degrees, but we want to know this part as well. So we are going to take 3 times 11 plus 25, and that's going to give us 58. So we now know that we don't need this anymore. This is 58 degrees. And we want to know the measure of ABD, so we can add 90 and 58 together. So 90 plus 58 is 148 degrees. And that is our answer to number 10. That's all for today. Thank you for watching.